I'm Nicole Crane, and today I'm going to be talking about how the Cocoon, my current program that I'm promoting, is like a Leatherman's multi-tool. So I will give you some information about the Cocoon and where to find all that. Guess I should have done that first. So the reason that I'm using this analogy is because when I was on the streets, the multi-tool was like the thing to have in any situation. I'm sure most guys know what that is, and probably most single ladies as well. If you don't know what it is, then congratulations. Someday I'll take a course from you on how to be taken care of so you don't need one, but they're kind of amazing. So when you're in the middle of nowhere and you don't have a kitchen drawer full of can openers and stuff, things like a multi-tool is like a godsend. So that is one of the applications, one of the legal applications, we'll say. So so the reason that I'm comparing this to a Leatherman is because as I was going through and trying to find a name for my work to set myself apart from my mentor, Layla Martin, and her sex, love, and relationship coaching, or Vita brand coaching, I was looking into a bunch of different names. Most of them still were already taken, like Radical Self-Love, which is taken by the amazing Gala Darling, Mind Hacking, which David Bear does. And so recently I just felt really drawn to look into these courses. Like, well, if this person was inspired to use this really amazing name, it must be kind of incredible work, right? So it's true. And I've noticed that both of those systems lack the body integration part, which I think is totally necessary. I've also been studying Gina Ogden's Isis wheel. Some of you know I'm like totally obsessed with Egyptian magic. So her Isis wheel includes 4 different pieces of mind, body, spirit, and heart. And at the center is integration. So I feel like all 4 pieces are really required, including the body, to reach deeper levels of integration, especially regarding sexual healing. So I did finally decide on the name Deeper Love Academy, which is super appropriate because especially with the Cocoon, it's like the foundational level of the Deeper Love Academy. And the way that we deepen love is through increasing your ability to feel and express love. So that is really the foundation of all of my programs, because I feel like that is really the key that differentiates spirituality from religion, honestly, because I feel like there are so many modern systems, religion included, that teach hate and segregation and separation. And so, and you know, like any system can be bent to use for that end. But I think that that's one of the major shifts that really needs to happen society-wide, is that reconnection to love and that commitment to deepening both your ability to love, but also really committing to that being a high priority for all of us. Because I think that that's one of the major things that shifts when you come from a place of love, is you have more compassion, you have more humility, you have more understanding. And instead of being as reactionary as most of us tend to be, if we're a little bit more healed and a little bit more integrated, we can come from a place of understanding where we see the person's pain rather than just reacting to it as like a knee-jerk reaction. Okay, sorry, I got a little bit off topic, but I didn't mean to like go on a anti fuck the system rage rant, but I'm like, this is me being very angry, can't you tell? No, it is like the wedgie in my ass though. So part of the reason that I want to make this so accessible is that it is a radical act of rebellion to reclaim love and to reclaim your sexual freedom and to reclaim pleasure. So we also focus on healing inner conflicts by creating a sense of safety, love, and belonging. And this is just in the second week of the Cocoon, because honestly, the way that I was taught this material, that was a much like further in practice. But to me, especially in the Western societal culture, I feel like we are still stuck in this tribal mentality where we feel like we're going to die if we're not accepted by our peers. This is like really pushed heavily by capitalism in order to, create a sense of separation in order to sell stuff, right? So not only do we get to come to a place of choice where we decide, like, I don't need all these things because people are going to love me anyway, or I just want a fucking Prada bag and I'm going to have it because I love myself. It doesn't mean that you don't get to have materialistic things. It just means that the desire can come from a different place instead of this like need to fit in or to impress people. It kind of allows you to come from a place of more clear choice rather than reaction again. So another reason that that is such a deep focus for me is because I feel like a lot of us are afraid to make deep spiritual changes because we do feel like our system of support, whether that's family or friends, chosen family, whatever, only knows and loves and accepts the current version of ourselves. So even if it's at a very deep subconscious level, I think a lot of us are afraid to make these radical quantum leaps and shifts because we're worried that our current system isn't going to continue to support and love us. So I think it's really important to use the closest thing that I can describe it to is if you're familiar with internal family systems as a therapy, the way that we create the sense of safety, love, and belonging is very similar to that, where you do a lot of reparenting, a lot of creating internal support systems so that you're not relying like solely on external support systems, and you can create that sense of belonging and love and safety inside yourself, which releases a lot of that fear and creates a stable, permanent foundation for real change, in my experience. So the last thing that I want to touch on, also because I'm obsessed with Egyptian magic and it's very in alignment with my personal studies, is one of the weeks we are going to work on healing your fear of death through coupling it with pleasure. So this is really exciting. And honestly, like, there's a huge focus on pleasure. If you watch my videos, I touched on this a little bit last time, but the reason for that, even though I tried to extract all the sexual stuff from this program, I failed. I'm not even going to lie to you. Like, it is definitely very sexy, and yeah, I'm not going to apologize for that. The reason is because it is a huge hack in healing things like trauma and fear of death and fear of rejection and fear of death by not being accepted by your community and things like that. So it's like the fastest shortcut to make this an enjoyable process that is probably going to not only be easy for you to finish, but something that you will be able to continue to rely on and return to and repeat over and over again to support future change and future shifts and future endeavors. So last time I also compared it to the Alpha and the Omega, which this is a foundational course, but the deeper I get into other systems, the more I realize that you don't really need a lot besides this, honestly. Like, not to toot my own horn, I'm actually tooting Layla Martin's horn. This is an incredible system. The things that are revealed through these techniques can be repeated over and over again. So when you run into further blocks or if you up level, of course you're gonna run into like, oops, delete this comment. No, sorry. Sometimes my my little note board helps me push buttons, but that reminds me I need to put the link in here. There we go. So all the information is on the website, but what was I saying? Talking about other systems. Oh yeah, so sexuality is definitely the shortcut. Oh my gosh, hang on a second, guys. I was transcribing a lecture earlier, so my little helpful dragon speak program is trying to type some stuff. It says, Bob will all about you. Which patient was your system? Yeah, that doesn't make any fucking sense at all. Thank you, subconscious mind and dragon speak. Okay. Okay, if I accidentally hit enter, that's what's going on. I didn't like have like a demonic possession in the middle of my live stream. So I lied. I'm going to talk about one more thing. So one other thing that we touch on, and it is kind of throughout the entire Cocoon, is healing the creational force of sexuality. So not only is sexual pleasure a shortcut to coupling unattractive, scary, icky, uncomfortable things like fear, disgust, shame, fear of death, fear of not being accepted. Not only can we make that a more rapid transition through coupling them with sexual pleasure, but also when we liberate pleasure, especially around sexuality, then it really liberates the creational force that is naturally inherent in sexuality. So not only are we harnessing and reclaiming this life force energy, that term is used a lot, but I don't know that it's always specifically tied to sexual energy, but sexual energy is the act of creation, whether we choose to use it to procreate physically or if it's just energetically, but it's such a powerful tool. And so once we not only learn how to direct it, but also strip away the shame and the disgust and the fear that has been wound so tightly around it by society, there's a lot of healing available in that as well. So I wanted to make sure that I talked about that aspect of this program. So the brass tacks, I do have 3 different levels that you can access this information. I do one-on-one coaching, and all this information is like laid out a little bit better on the website, but we can kind of schedule that once a week whenever you want, and we can start basically now, since I'm back from sabbatical. I also have a group program which starts on January 23rd, and if you sign up for that, then you'll get instant access to week 1, so you can kind of preview and start using the material as soon as possible. And then I also have what is called the Metamorphosis of the Month, which is kind of a mouthful, but that's kind of a self-guided, at your own pace, month to month. It's not a membership, it's like you just purchase each piece as you're ready for it. So in the group session, and also the one-on-one coaching, we kind of go through 1 week's worth of material every week. But if you do the Metamorphosis of the Month, then a new one will be available each month. So week 1 is available now. Week 2 will be available starting next Wednesday on the 1st. So if you like to just kind of binge through them, you might want to wait till February, so you have at least like 3 weeks worth to start chewing on. But that's geared a little bit more for people who need a lot of integration and processing time. But really quickly, we do take that into account, especially in the group program. We go 3 weeks in a row, and then the 4th week we take a break, so you have time to integrate, or if you got a little bit behind, so you have time to catch up. So it's an 8-week program technically, but we spread it out over 10 weeks because you have 2 break weeks in the middle there. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And if anything wasn't clear, you can message me or whatever. But I hope that this was a little bit illuminating. And yeah, I'm going to continue to do what I can to like express this on my main page. But for the most part, a lot of the content is going to be coming out on in the group, Deeper Love Academy. So it's a free group. If you're interested in getting all the most up-to-date information, please join over there. I just have to approve your request, but I do that. I'm like on my phone all the time, so usually it doesn't even go 24 hours without getting approved. So please let me know. I will, once I log off, I'm gonna drop the link for that in the comments. So I hope everyone is having a wonderful holiday break, and if everyone else is back to work like I am, I hope you're hanging in there and that you're well fed and well loved during the holidays, and I'm sending you even more love. Mwah! We'll talk soon. Bye.